Bet you won't believe me, but I'm finally back from vacation. So me and the family took a week and we went down to sunny California and we went to Disneyland. We had a ton of fun, but I'm back. So we're getting back to work on the Pacer. Well, my guys are getting back to work on the Pacer. I got a bunch of stuff I got to deal with inside the shop today, so I'm gonna work on it tomorrow. But you're in good hands because Hillbilly, Colton, and Sean are gonna be stripping this Pacer apart for me, getting that much closer to Demery's dream of being a professional burner-outerer. Something like that. I can't even talk to you about it because it's gonna be cool. We're making this thing different. It's gonna be way different. The front end, it's gonna be different. The inside's gonna be different. It's gonna be super safe, and you guys are gonna like it. All right, I'm done talking. Let's just get to work. All right, you're probably wondering what we're doing to the Pacer now, and you wouldn't believe it. Ripping the motor out, cutting the whole front end off.
Making a trailer out of it.
Making a trailer out of it. Just kidding. Sean came up with the best idea ever. He's gonna tube the whole front end. We're gonna rip the motor out, and then he's gonna do his magic work, cutting everything away. I don't even think Demery's gonna recognize her car when she gets back. She's gonna be like, when they left, had full interior, had everything inside of it, 3 wheels.
It was in rough, drivable shape.
Rough, drivable shape, as Hillbilly says. Since they've been gone, we've done a little work to it.
It's more than just a little bit of work. You can't even tell what it is anymore.
I know, can you guys tell what it is? So we ripped out all the interior, we welded in plates for the roll cage, we sanded the whole thing.
Just got the grill / hood hinges removed.
So I'm assuming when we get the new motor in there, we're not going to be running the aftermarket fuel cell that we have right there, but we'll be relocating it in the trunk.
Okay, so I was just draining the what coolant / water that was left that didn't boil out everywhere out of the radiator, so we can get this radiator pulled, and then we can start working on getting this motor pulled. Just come on.
I thought there was nothing in there.
Out of the motor.
There's some rust.
And a little bit out of the radiator because petcock ain't the very bottom, so you still get a little bit in there. So now that I got the radiator out, I'm just going through and unbolting all the relays, solenoids off the wheel wells and the firewall and everything, and we're just going to lay it right on top of the motor so it all stays with the motor.
Put it in the Bronx stall.
No. The only motor swap I'm doing again on the Bronx Star is if this one goes out and I can get my hands on a Godzilla.
That'd be cool.
Following the AC condenser lines that goes into the cab. You know how hard it is to cut old brittle hoses that are not brittle enough to break? Just really hard. It's really hard to cut them. Now all we got left is the motor mounts.
And
driveline and transmission.
woo! Now I hope you guys are all envisioning a lawnmower motor in there.
Yeah, that'd be kind of sweet. So I'm getting ready. Well, I'm unbolting the drive line. And then grab a catch pan underneath the transmission so that way it doesn't drain out of the tail shaft of the transmission.
There you go, sir.
Pry bar, thank you. Now, pop goes the weasel. They're still in good shape too.
And it is official. No going back now. And that's the thing, what we were talking about too, is not only just tubing the front end is gonna look cool, but it's gonna be stronger too. So if one of us, hopefully not Demery, sends it into the wall doing a burnout, I think it will be a little safer. And it won't just crunch the motor that we're putting in here, so.
Okay, I got a catch pan so I can pull the drive shaft, and it's gonna sit there and pour out. So I have to pull this little detector plate thing off so I can access 2 bolts that holds the column or the shifter to the subframe and the transmission. Because I really don't want to reach up there around it, try to figure out what bolt it is, and only be able to do like 2 clicks at a time.
Get you.
Yeah, don't stop me in the face. Now it's time to work on the transmission mount. Maybe I should wait. It's starting to drop.
Okay, we're getting a jack underneath.
I don't know if it's gonna go high enough. Right there.
Money.
Bada bing, bada boom, all done. Now time to cut the exhaust off.
Got it.
There we go. Now to get this out of its hole. I'm getting a chain hooked up to the motor, so that way we can get the motor mounts pulled, and then comes the motor. Trying to bleed the air out of it, which we've gone a lot higher than what we were. Yeah. Now we just gotta find a spot to hook the back lead. We got a spot hooked on the front, just gotta find a spot for the back. Because there's no bolts whatsoever on right-hand side of the motor.
I can go intake or...
Finally got it hooked up to something. If it holds or not, we're about to find out.
Good thing I brought that with me, huh?
Is that where that came from? I was wondering where it came from. I just showed up one day. I'm like, where'd this come from?
Well,
Even I'm the one that knows about everything.
Oh,
I want to attempt to pull these motor mounts out with the stubby half-inch gun. I think there's a nut on the back. It loosened, and that's about as far as it got.
Right down there. No.
that did it.
Boom!
Motor mount's removed.
Time to go up. Okay, I got the power steering lines all unhooked off the rack and pinion. Since the motor mount on the motor side is accessible for all the bolts, I'm going to unbolt all those bolts. That way we can get the motor out. Well, 1 bolt. 2 bolt. 3 bolt. Motor mount's out. Part of it.
So what we did, we just went ahead and cut the hood latch bracket off. We won't be using it. And it was creating, when we go to lift the motor up, it was binding right up into it.
Now we go up.
It's just binding up as we go up because it's tilting back, but now we're bottomed out. Yeah, so now we're bottomed out, but we're not clearing that yet.
What if we pry it? Oh.
Yeah.
Whole car's in the air.
Yeah.
Back here with the transmission.
It was wedged on one of the studs, so I'm coming down with the jack.
And Hillbilly's gonna guide the pry with the pry bar.
Now pull the jack out of the way. Hurry, 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 hurry.
That exhaust.
Oh. Yeah, we can get it off, and then we can pull that exhaust off too.
Right there. Now you're hitting.
Now back.
Now you're hitting on the oil pan. Okay.
So it's all the way out. The motor, that is.
Just walk it out. Walk it out. Tape a baggie over the end, Hillbilly.
All right, now the fun begins. We got the motor out, transmission out. Now we're just stripping down all the odds and ends.
And cleaning up our big mess.
Cleaning up our big mess. We got transmission fluid everywhere. And so instead of just cutting it all off at once, because we could go ahead now and just take the whole front end off. But he was explaining to me earlier, he said, if we did it that way, then we got to run our bars, you got to square everything up, run your measurements and all that. So he said if we just do it pieces at a time, so we'll start right here, cut this out, run our first bar down, then put our mounts here, and then we can go ahead and cut that out, and then it will be in place where this was at. And then that way we can go off of something instead of just guessing or trying to measure and that. So Hillbilly's gonna vacuum all the dirt up.
Dirt roads and dust and grime and everything built up. Okay, we didn't let you guys know, but we ran to lunch because it's lunchtime. Sean got back probably, he's maybe gone for lunch 5 minutes, seems like. Because I got back and look what happened. There's no wheel well. There's there, but not there. He done it. So we'll have to show you the process on the other one of him cutting it and everything. Sean likes to jump the gun and get things done.
Just like that.
Yeah.
That is how you cut out a wheel well.
Feels nice and sturdy.
What you got going on, Hillbilly?
Trying to make it to where it sits even. all the way across, so when I drill the hole, I know exactly where I need to drill. So that way we can tie everything into the dash bar.
Yeah, everything's gonna tie together. We're gonna run a dash bar along about where Hillbilly's laser line is. Then we'll bring the bars from the front up into it, and then the cage will continue on. So everything will be hooked together, tied in together.
Almost got the first little tail took off. Still so much holding it.
You got it now.
So Sean drilled holes through the frame, go all the way across. He's gonna stick a bar through, and that's gonna help it from them wanting to separate or go forward, just for strength. So what we're doing here is trying to line up the holes all the way through. And I think that was pretty much right on the money.
Pretty close. Actually, it's pretty good. We'll just have to put a bend.
Just a slight.
Yeah, so we should have to take off this little lip.
A little off the bottom of this one, a little off that one maybe.
Okay, so we got it to go all the way through. We just had to trim a little bit. We got it centered so that each side is 10 3/16 poking out from the rail here out. We're gonna tack it in right there.
$45. There, remember 45.
45, got it.
Once it fully bends, that's still gonna make it to where this is long enough to hit.
Yes, it should.
We hope.
We hope.
Because that bend is gonna drop this.
Let this
piece
drop
down.
that much.
Okay, we got the first down bar. We're calling it a down bar. But so what we had to do is come in here, put a slight bend right here, then follow it down and bend it here all the way down. We notched it and tied it into the one that we ran across.
Here's the next soon to be, as I would call it, fender bar. Fender bar, down bar.
Fender bar. I like it.
That side's done. Now it's ready for the pipe. Or the hole drilled, then the pipe. All the welds are grounded, and I'm just gonna break this off. Boom! All done. Now you just mark where I want to drill and drill it out to match that other side. Right in there.
Oh, air high, which is good.
Yeah, we'd rather be high
Than low.
than too low and have to
Yeah,
make up for it.
Take off
half
quarter
inch.
inch.
Half inch.
So I'm holding the tape right on the edge of the hole for Hillbilly because he is trying to plan out the crossbar that's going to be the dash bar.
That'll give us a 1/2 inch cut on both sides to couple this. 53 is the edge. So 54.5 is an inch over, so you have a 1/2 inch of overlap on each side. So I'm not as good as Sean with the notching, so I'm going to use the notcher.
That's like the same. A little bit.
Close, yeah. Might be a tad higher, but
Here we go. I'm going to attempt to notch the dash
Cutting
bar.
oil or no?
Nope. Attempt to notch the dash bar.
Hey, there you go.
Boom. Now I gotta flip it and do the same thing on the other side. Hopefully I get the notches lined up in the exact same spot so it's not twisted one way or the other. I had the seam line close to the center of a bit. Notch number 2. Now to test fit it. Yeah, buddy. It looks like it's gonna fit tight like it's supposed to, but the steering bracket is getting in the way. To fix that, I'm going to notch the steering bracket right there, and come down into here. Put it back in and test fit it, and if it works, fits like it's supposed to, then we'll be welding this to the pipe so that way it can actually sit where it needs to. I can't go down none because of that. I want to get it cut out.
Because I think the pedal part will stay.
You think so?
I'm thinking so, because I think just these are holding it together. See what I mean? It's just the studs holding it in there.
So instead of cutting it right away, we just unbolted it. Unbolted it as top, the steering bracket part itself that goes to the top, and let the brake assembly bracket in so we didn't have to deal with the brakes right now, to see if hopefully that's enough to make it, let it clear and sit down where it needs to sit. Okay, so if we slide this, which one's gonna be easiest to slide in and out? Now slide her in. Nope, I have to take a little bit off. Yep, just barely.
We got the crossbar tacked in. We got the fender bars running down in place. They're all tacked in. They're tacked into the crossbar going across. This one's tacked going in. So now we're gonna work on the braces that are gonna go on each side of the shock towers.
Stabilizers.
Control arms, stabilizers. Anyways, we're gonna work on bracing this up.
The real question
Here
is,
and there.
what do you guys call them?
Because usually you'd have the strut towers that go in and then you build where the shocks go into. But this is like, they're like mounted to the frame.
Let's go bend some pipe. It ain't working, Sean. What'd you do? I think Sean broke it and he used it last.
Okay, Hillbilly got it bent to a 45. The reason why we did this is so when Sean goes and cuts it, we can get two out of this one bend.
Probably the straightest cut I've done ever. Ever. So I had to cut it because this is going up to the support bar, the fender bar, and then down here we had to cut it to match the frame. So it'll fit like that. Now we just got to notch the fender bar, and then it will just pink, and be done.
Get that angle right. That's there good.
Hillbilly's gonna tack this in place. Okay, perfect example why what I'm understanding is why they tack it, because what we thought we wanted, yeah, it would have worked good for strength, but for looks, we're going for looks too. So what we want to do is we had the one going from here up to here, but it was too just at like a 90-degree angle with the fender, the one that's going to be running for the fender. So we want to run it at like a triangle. You'll see when it's done.
Look, done.
Yep, it's going to run up like this, but with a bend there, same thing there, gussets in here, there. Voila!
So it is the next day, and guess what? I'm back. So the guys knocked it out so far. We got everything in the front end gutted. We got Bombi playing around. Hey, no, don't drink that. Bombi just tried to drink something he shouldn't. So anyway, we're doing a tube front end. Sean's bending them up. We're gonna be caging the inside and tying it all together. It's gonna be super awesome.
Look like a NASCAR.
Yeah, it's gonna be basically a NASCAR now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make tabs that come out here. So we left this structure on so that we can mount the fender, because this is gonna get a front end on it. It's just gonna be tubular. Totally tubular, dude. I'd love to stay and show you guys everything, but we have a recovery to do of an RV. You guys will see that in another video. So me and Colton and Hillbilly are gonna take off. We're gonna let Sean play in the sandbox today, and we'll be back to show you guys some more stuff. All right, so we just got back and Sean has been crushing it. So one side is tube. This just looks so awesome. So the front end of this Pacer is gonna be indestructible. We're building a race car, even though it's not even gonna go fast. So we got it tied into the dash bar. So I'm gonna start cutting the glass out. We need to get this windshield out because this windshield is a very important piece of this car. So we're gonna take it out, and I'm gonna take the side windows out, and then I'm gonna start working on a main hoop. Then we can start connecting all our bars and getting a cage in this sucker. I wonder if should we do like a rear bar that's like 10 inches off the ground and then do some X's up to the top, like this. Because I think at this point we pretty well eliminated the back seat. So this is probably just a two-person unless we put a kid seat in. Yeah. So I'm gonna work on getting this glass out. So I'm not actually cutting urethane. I'm cutting what's called butyl tape. We use butyl tape on old cars, and it's like a soft, gummy type of sealant. So when we go to put this in, we're gonna urethane them in. Gosh. Like,
Trying to get your grip on these slick floor.
flipping. And I don't want to break the window. Where's your heat gun? We're gonna add some heat to it. Must have done something. Just to know.
Got it?
Okay, there's one of the most expensive
Yeah.
side glasses in the world.
Probably even harder than the what was it?
Well, people pay a lot of money for cars with good windows.
The Suzuki? Was it?
Oh, the freaking X90. That
Yeah,
one was
X90.
stupid expensive too. So I want to get these rubber blocks out. These are just little spacers that keep the spacing equal. So we're going to save these to put them back in. Got it. All right.
All the way through on, except just right here, there was a big, something solid. But there's a big old goober. Right through.
Huh?
You were like all the way through. Now you just gotta come around this corner. Yep.
This is the most nerve-wracking windshield I've ever had to pull. Ever. We literally would have had to buy a car. Like, not even joking. Now the windshield's out, so we can get in, we can weld everything.
So I went through and I scraped all the rubber, the old 1976 rubber. Now I'm gonna go through with this air wheel lock. Is that what you call it, Cody?
Roll-Lock disc, man.
Roll-Lock disc.
It's the Roll-Lock
Learning.
Scotch-Brite, and it's not rubber, it was butyl. That's what they used to hold
See, when you
windshields
say
in.
butyl, I think of bugles, like the chips you eat, bugles that you put on your fingers as a kid. I don't know why, but anyway, so I got this roll-lock disc. I'm gonna go through and just clean it up.
So I'm going to fully weld around the frame and this bar, because we're going to cut about an inch out, cut this bar completely out, and then we're going to build one that kind of loops down like this, so that way the radiator can sit and clear and not hit the front or back. It'll be right where it's supposed to be.
All right, so I am making some tabs. So what we've got here is a tab that we're gonna bend and we're gonna drill holes in. And the reason we need tabs is we've got fenders that need mounted. This is gonna go up inside there. It's gonna come along here. We're gonna TIG weld that all on. This, in essence, is gonna replace this. This is all getting cut off. These are gonna be tabs that hold our fender. So we're building 4 per side. We're gonna have a total of 8. But what we'll do is I'm just gonna cut out 8 of the same, and then we'll trim them to fit. Because as you can see, they get a little bit shorter as we go down. They'll get trimmed, but that's fine. Anyway, and then this upper rail is getting cut off. So you can see Sean's been kicking some butt. He's getting all the tube work out here finished. Just about got it to the point where once we get these tabs, all this structure's coming off and the whole front end of the pacer is gone. Then we got to rebuild back better. Did you get that? Rebuild back better. And then I'm going to work on the hoop for the inner roll cage. I've got some 2-inch DOM. And we're going to attach all this to that cage portion. So let's go over to the plasma. We're going to make some brackets. Oh, our friends over at VSM, they sent us a care package of belts. A bunch of different belts to try out. So we've got a whole box of grinding belts that we're going to test on our Ameribraid. What I've got here, went ahead and drew it up. So I will get this imported into the table and we will cut it out. We had to override our soft limits because the height with the 4-inch. Anyway, we got it to work. Look at that. We're geniuses. Look at that. We'll get these all ground up and then we're going to let Sean do his bending. Yep. And then we'll be able to bend them, trim them, lock them, and load them. Always got to check your work. It's perfect. Look at Mom, I learned how to do it. Yes. Got them all ground. So I'm gonna give them back to Sean and let him do what he gets to do. Sweet.
I left for 10 days and something has happened to my car. I was told it was getting bodywork done and it would be primed.
Neither of that is finished.
It's tore apart.
Don't you love it? You love it?
I mean, I don't hate it. Look at it.
Yeah, look how good it looks. It's literally a shell. I do want to point out the fact that this is the cleanest, least rusty car from 1976 that I've ever seen in my whole life. This thing is spotless. But anyway, look, we're making it safe. So we saw, unfortunately, there's somebody else out there in the YouTube land that has a Pacer. His name is Vice Grip Garage, Poppy Patina's, and we saw him run it into the wall at Cletus McFarland's. And so we want to make sure that when you hit the wall, you're safe. Internal, external, alternal caging it.
I think that I need to buy all the cars because so far it's getting done.
Because it's not mine. And I can spend the money and not get in trouble.
Don't even.
I've got my 30-degree bend. I'm bending my DOM, and DOM is extremely expensive. And it's 2-inch, so I can't mess it up. I got to keep it all perfect, but I got to make a hoop. And I want to keep this about an inch off of this pillar. So I've got to put a bend there, but then I've got to put a 10-degree bend right here because that's not perfectly straight. And then I got to figure out my bend there. So that's what I'm working on. I'm going to measure it all out, write down all my coordinates, and then I'm going to go set up the bender for 2-inch. All right, this is not going to make sense to anybody, but check this out. I have half of my bend done. We're going to go 17 inches. We're going to start our bend, 30 degrees, and our bend. Then we're going to go 2 inches down from the end of the bend. That's 30 degrees. Boom. That's going to be a start to our 10-degree bend. Boom, 10 degrees. Mark our end. We're going to come back. Start a 48-degree bend is going to be 5.75 inches back from end of bend. Boom, 48-degree bend. Boom. Set it up in there, mark out our center, measure it out, duplicate it, make it out of 1 3/4. Boom. Then we know it's right, and we do it out of our 2-inch DOM. So we got one shot. We only got one opportunity. That's our 30 degrees. I put a half a degree for spring back. We're gonna mark our back edge. I'm also gonna make sure that this is zeroed out. Okay, we're zeroed. So now, when we pull it through, we'll zero that again. And in theory, this is gonna stay good. So there we are, we got our first 17 inches, our first 30-degree bend. Loosen this all up. Now let's come out, start. And this one is gonna go 10 degrees. Okay, so I've got it all measured. I've got half of my bend there. I just figured out what my center point is inside the car. It's 8 inches. There you have it, folks. 8 inches out. It's gonna be my center point. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure off my center point of the bar, do some quick calculations. That's gonna tell me everything I need to know. All right, so I've done all the math. I've mirrored it. We're doing the other side of the hoop, and I'm just like praying that it works. And if it's perfect, and it's out of welded tube, and then I mess it up with DOM, I'm gonna be so sad. Does that look like the inside of a Pacer?
Definitely.
Yeah, tighter bends.
Yep. How did I mess that up? Test fit number 1. Got it. Unsuccessful. All right, so we just added a little bit, like 2 more degrees to see if it works. We're getting closer. Lots closer.
The main halo hoop is just 1 inch too high. So we had to go out and cut 1 inch off the bottom leg here because it was pressing up tight against this. We cut 1 inch off. Now we're going to get ready to test fit to see if that inch was enough.
I already think we have to be 1 inch narrower, which that's fine, but look at this. Yeah, so actually, I think we need to be 2 inches more narrow. No? What the heck? That's like almost perfect. It's just right here.
I'm tight against right here.
So are we.
Are you straight?
All the way down, are you straight?
Yeah.
We need to take 1 inch out of here is what we need to do. If we move this bend up here, take 1 inch out of there, it's going to move it away. Okay, that's why we build test panels.
So they put their...
No, the B-pillar really is. I think that is lower than that. Like, no joke.
Well, yeah, because the car's getting
Yeah,
narrower.
yeah. Car's getting narrower, and so it's making that point higher. Come on, AMC.
Bend that one more up there and try to de-bend that one. That would narrow it up.
It is pretty consistent through there. You know?
Yeah.
Now we gotta duplicate it. One shot. And look at that, Sean. We even kept it square. Look at it.
Oh.
Be impressed.
I'm impressed.
Thank you. I needed that. All right, we're taking an inch out of it. Oh, this is 1 3/4. This isn't 2 inch. This is, we just changed the dice to 2 inch. This is 1 3/4. Woo! It's expensive. All right. Now we're gonna do this exactly like we did the fake one. And we're gonna go to the correct degrees, and then we'll tweak them in. We'll tweak them in like we did. I've zeroed that out, so that's gonna stay 0. That's gonna be my level. Now we're doing a 30-degree bend. Wow, DOM is way, I can just tell it's bogging it. I'm gonna go to 32 because I don't know the spring back on DOM. Mark it with the B. All right, so we'll go through and get this half bent, show you how it turns out. I can feel it in my soul. This is gonna fit. Basically, I'm mirror matching the first one we bent because we know it's right. So if it goes in, that's it. It's going in.
Oh, dude, that's beautiful.
Look at it. It was almost as if Sean made it. Just take a little bit off, or
Yeah.
notch that side just a hair.
Yep.
1/4 inch. Right. Hurry and cut off 1/4 inch off of this, and I think we're gonna have it made.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks good. Good job.
Heck yeah. Look at that. It's exactly what we asked it to do. All right, so now that we've got all these brackets and tabs on, we're gonna get this sheet metal all cut out of the way.
So they welded it right there, but they bolted it.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't.
All right, well, we got a ton of progress done, but I'm tired. I'm going home, but got the DOM hoop in it, front end all put together. We still have so much to do. All right, so as always, we appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video, go check out this one.